What is up, nerds? It's Jerry from Them Nerds here with Tony. We are talking about episode 6 of What If. The episode of What If Killmonger saved Tony Stark?
What if indeed?
Yes.
So I was looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, actually. I mean, it definitely was something we've kind of just stayed within this realm of the heroes are heroes, and we thought that's where we were going with this episode, and boy, were we not.
No.
So, if it starts off very similar to the way Iron Man 1 does with the attack in Afghanistan by the 10 rings. And although Tony Stark isn't left to be taken by the 10 rings, he is actually saved by Killmonger. And from there, we have the ability where Killmonger starts moving pieces around so that he gets further and further up the chain of command within Stark Industries. What do you think of this episode, Tony?
Well, if you guys have paid any attention to this show whatsoever, you know that I'm like a huge Killmonger fan. I loved the portrayal of the character in the Black Panther film. And when I saw that they were going to be doing an episode like this, I was super stoked. Of course, I assumed that he was going to be more of a heroic sort of figure. But just like he was in the Black Panther film, he had this kind of Machiavellian scheme that he was working. And, just like in the movie, like he's working, his pieces within Wakanda. He's working Ulysses Claw. He's working, his American military background. Like, I thought they did a really, really good job of taking all of those things that I liked about the character from the movie and putting them on display here in this, 30-minute animated little piece.
Yeah. I also like the idea that, the basis of this show was, Iron Man was created by the idea that Tony Stark had to save himself, but because he was saved, he never created Iron Man. So, he ends up creating or building this relationship with Killmonger, where he starts icing out the people that he's supposed to trust and start relying on Killmonger, who's actually having him build AI and using Wakanda technology, vibranium, which was also very reminiscent to the idea of Ultron. So,
Yes.
which obviously points to the fact that we have Ulysses Claw in here, and that's where we first meet Ulysses Claw is in Age of Ultron. So, right. You start seeing all these little connective tissues of where this could be leading to. And yet you still have characters within this show who aren't being fooled, like Happy and Pepper Potts. And, you get further into Wakanda and Shuri's not being fooled. And, Killmonger does a good job at making people believe that he's a person that's here for his people. But in reality, he's here for himself.
Right. And I really, I like this idea that one difference in Tony Stark's story made for such a different universe, because without Tony Stark, being forced to become a hero, we didn't get the Avengers. We didn't get, this idea that, there was a protective layer around the earth that could protect us from something like Thanos. And I would love to see how they explore Thanos, and the whole snap situation without the Avengers having been formed, with Killmonger having sort of taken that out by taking out Tony Stark and by taking out, I almost said Don Cheadle, taking out Rhodey, and taking out T'Challa. It would be a really interesting episode, I think. And they have lots of time to explore that, and I hope they do.
Yeah. It leads us down a path where during the course of getting the vibranium from Ulysses Claw, we lose Rhodey and T'Challa, and Killmonger sets up the idea that Rhodey killed T'Challa, so that puts the two countries against each other. And when Killmonger gets back and starts talking to Tony's figured him out because Jarvis always knows everything.
Right.
And so we see this great battle between Killmonger and the AI that Tony has figured out how to make work. And Killmonger gets one over on him and ends up killing Tony. And so we have the situation where he leaves the American military into believing that the Dora Milaje, a lot closer than normal,
It was perfect.
yeah, have killed Tony Stark, and so which is the reason why the United States should use these AI to attack Wakanda.
And the way that he kind of duped the American military into just believing him, and then he gets inside of Wakanda and he tells the Wakandans like, hey, I know how to shut these things off. He shuts them off. Then he pulls his little clicker out and he turns them back on because he wants to be the hero. He wants to be the conquering, he's on his rhino and he's out here saving, the queen and Okoye, and he's just tearing it up and he's, Wakanda forever. And everybody's like, yay, welcome home.
Yeah.
Right.
This idea that this leads to the idea that T'Chaka gives him the purple herb and makes him the new Black Panther. But little does he know, Shuri has decided to go ahead and foil his plans by going back to America, letting Pepper Potts know this is all set up, which leads us, this is one of the first episodes that really leads us to know that this story is continuing on somehow.
Right. Yeah. This is the first time since the first episode with Captain Carter where I feel like they were setting us up for a sequel. And in the mid-season promo video for What If came out today, and I got to see just a little bit of it. My internet wasn't working very well, and it does seem like they're teasing a lot of sequel stuff coming up and a lot of connections between what they did at the first part of the season and what they're planning on doing at the back half of the season.
Yeah. I also like the idea, the last line of the show, which I'm not going to try to repeat because I'll just, jack it up. But it was definitely a nod to the idea of Chadwick Boseman's death and letting you know that, heroes, aren't ever gone because there's other people who will take up the mantle, basically, is what the Watcher is implying.
Yeah.
So I thought the episode was actually really good. It's the animation was amazing. The fighting was
so
great.
Good.
I mean, I really feel that Marvel has hit, the ball out of the field. I don't know, I'm not sports.
Sports metaphor here. Yes. The battle scene, I texted Jerry while we were watching this, and during the battle scene where Killmonger was riding on the rhinoceros and they were fighting all the bots. And I was like, man, the animation is so good on this show.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And that battle scene really, I think, showcased it because there was a lot of kind of stylized action sequences, very similar to what prompted me to be really into the animation in the first episode when Captain Carter was out here doing, damage with her Union Jack shield. The battle scenes especially are just really impressive.
I also like the idea that Marvel isn't shying away from cringeworthy scenes where, a lot of people were afraid that because it was on Disney Plus that things aren't going to be, too ruthless. But, after the zombie show, we thought one way, this has had straight up murdering in it. Yeah. And Disney was just like, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because, we let it out or late enough at night, kids should be asleep.
Yeah. For real. That zombie show we keep talking about, dude, Vision was feeding Scott Lang's whole body to Wanda.
Yeah, he's
just a head.
Yeah. So I think that alone is it's making for such good TV. So this is pretty impressive. Not as impressive as this Shang-Chi Funko Pop. We're running out of time, so make sure to leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and comment for a chance to win this Shang-Chi Funko Pop.
That's right. And might I just say, before we let you guys go here, Jerry keeps putting his head under Killmonger's hair. And I think that we, all the nerds watching this program, should comment below to encourage Jerry to go ahead and grow out his hair to look just like Killmonger's.
I had it once before. It looks great.
For me, it's impossible. Sorry, maybe my beard. I don't know.
You can
Anyway,
you can dread it up.
well, in for whatever reason, in what if fashion, we have no freaking clue what episode 7 is gonna be, except I think we can all sort of agree that it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Based on the history that we've seen here in these first 6 episodes. Jerry, as we kind of pull into the back half of this season, what do you hope to see more of? Is there anything you hope to see again? Is there anything you haven't seen yet that you'd like to see?
I would just like to see, there's obviously we're building up to something, so I'm just hoping it pays off in the end, which I know it will. I'm guessing we know we're going to be seeing Thanos Gamora soon, and
Yes.
so that's something we know Ultron at some point is going to play a factor into it. So I think we have a lot of possibilities that this is going to be just another great 3 episodes left.
Yeah. If there's one thing that I could catch a glimpse of on this show, and I have no faith that it's going to happen, but if I could catch a glimpse of one thing on this show, well, yeah, Mephisto, of course. No, John Walker.
Oh yeah.
I want to see what if John Walker wasn't an absolute and utter dick.
Yeah.
I mean, then he wouldn't really be John Walker. But I would like to see him mentioned or referenced in some way on the show. I think it would be cool to tie in what they've done live action so far, either with Loki or WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and show some of the action from one of those shows, at least tangentially off to the side. Let's bring it in. Let's tie it all together.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, y'all. That'll do it from these nerds. Don't forget to follow us on social media at We Them Nerds on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you can handle all of the Instagram coolness that is coming off of my homie Gerald, I don't know. I don't know if you can.
I can't.
He's bringing the fire. All right, guys. Hey, that's it. Be good. Be good to each other.
Stay nerdy.
Later, nerds.